Welcome to more Open Source Sunday. We previously started to port our precious little T2 raw Linux distribution to macOS, and I have these changes here for quite a while, so that is M1 Max, native macOS, as much as I also don't like peak bugs, but need to make everything to work. And so we have here quite some obviously changes. We should start to commit them and sort them and commit them. And maybe first, by the way, did we? Yeah, so these changes are some, of course, actually, so we can't commit everything just like that. This uname thing, actually, why do we? All right, or do we? Anyway, back in some minute, but. So we need to sort this. So in general, this works. We have made some previous live streams that people even on the DTK previously, maybe even a year ago. So it's time to sort this stuff. Why is there even tarops unset standard? This is a little bit funny. I mean, sure it works, but anyway, yeah, some of the stuff is just quirking of Unix stuff, not 100% portable, obviously. Anyway, let's. So I think I built the last time. So yeah, we basically need to sort the stuff, and with sorting I mean, yeah, all these changes. Yeah, making some kind of granular commit things because we are not Apple or Google and like committing everything in one big like Apple port stuff, but better style of better testing, continuous integration, debuggability and stuff of committing like 20, 30 smaller changes. Anyway, the last time I think I tried to build Lua, now that I see that here, I think I just cleaned that. And emerge. So this is on macOS, right? As crazy as it is. Basically bringing, so why do we do this? To bring the T2 Linux package metadata cross compilation stuff to other platforms, to utilize the same homebrew. So all our efforts of us fixing stuff plus data, finding the updates, you only need to do this once, and yeah, metadata at once, run everywhere. Emerge missing only Lua. I think this failed. Oh, this was interesting. I thought it failed. Maybe I controlled Z or some other stuff happened. And yeah, some of those changes are not easy. So some of those changes will be guru meditating for quite a while. What did I not download that? What the heck? All right, what did I do here? Recurring theme. I don't know what I'm doing. I think Lua failed the last time for trying to build with Xcode or something. It's a little bit, by the way, did also two. Actually, did that work? This debug stuff actually looks like that might work. So I wonder, because Lua has some like macOS. Okay, that even works. Cool. That's what I would have expected. No warning. This is our stuff. I think, do we by default build Linux? Funny that this, okay, so that fails because it's not, yeah, this is not Linux, obviously. And let's check what we had in there in Lua. This is also the stuff of porting to macOS, or later maybe leave in the comments below who is for iRix and God forbid SunOS or Solaris or something. Anyway, theoretically we could use T2 to build another foreign Unixes, right? So personally probably more like Haiku or Dragonfly. And welcome everyone. So Lua, what do we do here? Maybe we did Linux for Linux? No, did we not? What do we even? Oh no, we built actually generic. Interesting. Okay, so we were so forward thinking for some strange reason that we built with generic. Also, yeah, this is a little bit convoluted because other people worked on it and like, my C-Flex, seriously? They have really, as they call this at Lua. No, we should, in my opinion, not should call this Lua or something. Yeah, just a little bit code review here. So we built with generic and cross build. Okay, this is if we set AR though. Okay, this is a little bit dirty, heck, but whatever. Why does this not? Does generic also fail? That is. Maybe generic also fails if they do there's some LDs. No, generic like that worked. Why did it then not build with? Also, yeah, macOS totally standard compliant. Stuff running and curses something. Readline history. No, it's theoretically generic. Also, apparently Lua use. Okay, maybe Lua use DL open then. So much to why. I mean, I know they have a Linux target. Maybe they have. Here there are targets like FreeBSD and stuff. Do they include? Where are their rules? What do they have? Platform targets. Where is it even? Platform help test, something. Is there another keyword for including stuff? Or platforms. Oh, there's also guess. Where's guess? Oh. Oops. The default apparently is guess. How does guess work? Yeah, package maintenance. Ironically, this is maybe source though. Maybe maybe it does. Just maybe I looked into the wrong makefile. Yes, yeah. Okay, that is uname. So this is simply yeah, guess is unames. Yeah, fancy name for it. So okay, Linux. How does it work? Linux no readline. Okay, Linux they have multiple. Darwin macOS is use readline. Yeah, so that is -LD and stuff. Where is use LD or where is use LD? What was it even? DL open. What config is that? Or does it not? Oh no, here is it. Sun Solaris, and interesting that is only in. It's generally not even used, at least in the Linux defined. Okay. So yeah, unfortunately, our Linux build is a little bit convoluted for historic reasons. I'm not agreeing with all of this stuff. Here, this is not as clean as I would like it. But that is what we're here for, to work on. This was DL right use. Oh, maybe it's also coming from Lua. Maybe this is to synchronize that between other. Yeah, so DL open. It does not look to be the most used. The question is also, maybe we test if that already makes it build. And so that is also the porting stuff. So not only making our scripts work, but also the packages like Qt and GTK, and okay, this still does not work. It does still, what does it, DL and stuff. Okay, this might be, it could be that other people have done this in T2, because believe it or not, it's not an unsuccessful Wurman distribution, to make sub-package, like other packages built to reuse the same configuration. Mylib, so why would we set that? Yeah, here we have that. Given that this code path was not used, probably for Linux, because, or not really, because it is still not enough. 749. Use POSIX. This is mylib stuff. Unknown option -E. Actually, maybe I should have read this before. Why do we still have this? Okay, this is, what is it even on? Export dynamic when created dynamic link text will user. Then it causes linker to add all symbols to the dynamic symbol table. I mean, we could, maybe it would be best style. I'm not sure if that is needed like that today. But in the sake of not messing with that too much today, what else did we modify? We should have a kernel variable or something. Okay, that is the config kernel, so that should be Linux. So also maybe we want to make it somehow more compact, but that would be like that, not to break any other stuff today. Where's even new something. So this would be the new porting stuff, which we would need to have sometimes, like kernel equals Linux. Then var append, where do we have this -E even? Apparently not here. Here we have that now. I really wonder if that is still necessary today, though. What did I remove? I removed mylibs. I can... this would be a little bit much. Also, yeah, just the amount of casual workings, like you're totally not dedicated and perfecting all the details, one working copy at a time. So we had mylibs DL, and if we want to be sure, so pro tip, if you, well, theoretically, I am for keeping, like cleaning stuff up, but not necessarily to break stuff. So that would be here. Not entirely, why would they? Maybe we var insert SDE config kernel Linux, then actually theoretically we can use a short form here. This is not stuff that can fail. Var insert that plus make opt. We had here LDL. So if we wanted to make this very strict, so that would be WL comma dash E. And if we wanted to make this really totally, I mean, it's cluttering this a little bit, but we can clean this up some other day. I'm not the very greatest fan of the new versions of Lua anyway. Welcome everyone. Tuning in now. That was which my lips here. So if we wanted to be totally bug and feature compatible, then this would be, well, also we had the type was actually my lips, so that would be here was dash LDL, I think. Also, yeah, there is a typo. So here, that was dash LDL. It's a little bit different order, but that should be mostly irrelevant. Insert of, here's the variable name missing, my LD flags. Oh, my lips, yeah, so close. So my lips, yeah, not, this should be Lua, this is a little bit, this should be in the original make file. So the, yeah, so this is a, I can't show the thing itself. Obviously, so yeah, this is an M1 Max MacBook Pro. So yeah, we obviously also have T2 working, but working, made the previous video right, at native Linux at this point of time with all the drivers missing. And with all, I mean, like 90% of the drivers missing, sure, a lot of low-level stuff is there, but not even built-in keyboard, at least not usually, and it's not to mention sound and camera, and so on and so on. So it's probably more than a year. So for me, this is, I can't spend my lifetime reversing and implementing driver for Apple. They're already billionaires enough there of Tim Apples and fame. So for me, this is pointless to work on that. Certainly package that. And in general, I question if it's the best thing for the community to work on this $100,000 driver reverse engineering projects to make big companies richer. I would not have brought this. I should still make a triple edited video on the Moment channel. I would not have brought this at all if I would do only Linux. I would not have brought it. I wouldn't recommend it. Although yes, it has a mostly nice display, except the bloody notch and the missing rounded pixels there in the corners. And the keyboard is not good, and performance is relatively okay, but everything is proprietary. The booting is a mess and in general. Get some, yeah, means the only thing is performance and efficiency, but get some Lenovo X13 if they would. I would have even if I would not have macOS software and some living until you share, like, and subscribe enough and stuff. In general, not recommended, not giving Apple the money you would with your wallet. And for native performance, right, it is mostly, even I'm a hardcore user, developer, 20 years and Linux distribution veteran. I can boot I can boot Linux on that, but the performance, yeah, it's a glorified thin client, right? You don't have video acceleration, you have no 3D acceleration, you don't have a camera, you don't have sound, and you don't even have Wi-Fi unless you collect a lot of hacky patches. And even then you don't have video and 3D and stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's a glorified thin client. Get something that works. And recurring theme, right? Don't spend and donate and let big tech bleed you out for free. Vote with your wallet, buy something that works for you, and don't buy like this overpriced Apple text stuff. It's not even perfect, and it doesn't even just work for non-macOS use. So yeah. Arnav agrees. And yeah, even for me, even as a 20-year Linux distribution guy, right? For me, it does not make the most sense. Otherwise I have a Ryzen workstation that suits me much better, that I can't carry it under my arm. So yeah, but that's what we have now. And people have seen this recurring subscriber. So I live on this channel, I opened the Lenovo website probably 3 times, and I can't change. I would have with love gave Lenovo my money with love, with pleasure, with Lenovo, but they don't ship this, right? I mean, besides the performance, the crazy thing is, sure, the only thing is this Apple M1 Max performance, Apple M1 performance is outstanding. I said this always, but that is basically the only thing, right? I guess most Linux people buy this for the ARM performance. It is crazy that that is faster than in this foreseeable. And it says the same for, so yeah, the whole year since I wanted to buy it since Easter or so 6 months or so, 7 months, and it's like, yeah, you can't still buy it in Europe, Germany, France, except in the US it started shipping. But anyway, so yeah, that ship has sailed, and we make the most out of it, which is also supporting T2 on macOS. Just a little bit of, yeah, this long monologue only happens when people ask such questions, and I need to clarify that this is not endorsing Apple's product, especially for their proprietary nature. And that is a sad thing, right? I said this so many times. Library not found for history. Interesting. Should we not have history? Where would that come from? We will not have history. Do we? What do we have in? And Apple could have changed this, right? They could have had a portable EFI BIOS. They could have used more standard conformant stuff for the camera, for audio. But they have chosen to implement very system-on-chip Apple proprietary stuff, which without very good reason. And the graphic, they didn't have to copy open Power VR. I mean, not that we would have Power VR drivers, but instead of copycatting Power VR in differently proprietary ways and still giving them certainly hundreds of millions or billions or whatever in license compensation for their copycatted graphic stuff. If they would have used Power VR, then at least finally would have made sense to finally reverse engineer the stuff. But anyway. Or a display controller, right? Crazy display controller APIs for mode settings. Yeah. Var ADMF list. So we wanted, what is what we don't have readline installed? Interesting. Did I not install readline? Apparently not. And now we also had curses. Probably a new version, I guess. So what do we have? Readline find. Why is this installing so much? I mean, the only thing is I copied that from the DTK, right? So this is why some of the stuff is a little bit out of sync here. Like maybe we previously installed readline potentially on the DTK, but I only copied from the DTK. I copied my source tree from the DTK we had previously. Also there's some, this is also just shared files. Maybe it's rebuilding this only due to shared files though. Find utils. We only wanted. Also, isn't that amazing? Your Linux distribution building packages into proprietary macOS, right? Because obviously, was it read line 4? Oops, this was not what I wanted. Alright, user local, obviously. So this has history, so I was probably missing that. Let's see if that works now. And very theoretically though, we could wire up operation, not why is this hard coding stuff to user share doc lure. The good thing is that the usual win-win, making our to-do distribution, I should speak slower, and coffee. End of the day, what should I say? Win-win, making our Linux distribution better, for example, this kind of user share or so. Yeah, so actually this is even hard-coded in our stuff, so that is actually, yeah, and that is the amazing thing, right? Why do I even do this? Well, first of all, I have this hardware. Unfortunately, my company had to buy this for me. Again, not a fan, and yada yada, we said this just now. But at least not only improving ARch64, ARM64 support, but also macOS support and finding bug, or at least, well, is it a bug? At least imperfections. It's not really a bug because Lua defaults to user prefix on T2 Linux, but should we call this a bug, or at least Apple anyway calls everything an issue, or do they call it an issue? Apple is really good in rephrasing stuff of it's not an issue, you're just holding it wrong. So obviously just building it wrong or configuring it wrong. But long story short, so this is docdear obviously, and this should of course not be written like that. So it's not, is it a feature? It's like configuration marginality, obviously, right? And welcome everyone, hope you all do well. So this was docdear, right? Was it, we probably should check. That is, yeah, that includes Lua, and this would be user local Lua. And so that is the reason we have this encodings here. Let's, by the way, package libdear. Is this not superfluously using a slash there? Yeah, user local, so too many background jobs. So this probably should be superfluous, as well as docdear, and same here for docdear. And then we maybe finally have that. So I only spotted that accidentally the other day. I only wanted to not only fix this to build on macOS, obviously, or other BSDs or stuff. And yeah, so that built, and now we have shiny, hopefully, Lua here. So we can commit that. Reviewing our patch, so that is removing hard-coded use LD open. Did I even, no, wait a second, I think okay, to be fully bug and feature compatible, again, not really sure if we want that, but that was cflex for if we already said so, we should also do that. So we maybe simply use append, because that's what we usually use. We don't need to have this in the beginning of the variable var. Append my flags. That was use ld open also. Use, was it exactly that? Let's see. This was use ld dl. Oh, this is of course typo, because this is why we always double check stuff. So, hard-coded there, then only for Linux. And this is basically a lot of packages of T2 will need this in the future. So if Linux, then other stuff, then, or if BSD, or and so on and so forth. And that is certainly a small price to pay for using one meta distribution to support, to rule them all. Readline, history, and curses. And very theoretically, we could probably conditionalize readline to readline even actually being installed, but that is for another day. And my C flags, just looking for typos. If we wanted to be totally diehard crazy professionals, we could check the Linux binaries on Linux before that and after, but I think this is not important enough. Usually we don't do that, but just to give some ideas how diehard regression perfectionist you could be. But already spent enough of our time with this fun stuff. So Linux kernel, kernel Linux var, insert mylibs, just trying to mylibs wl, comma e, and this probably looks good there. Fixed lure for building on, should we call this usually Darwin? Maybe we should. Fixed building Darwin and another prefix for dog deer or something of that sort. Again, so this is only, I mean, this is already lots of stuff working, right? How many? Yeah, it's usually so much stuff working, tiny little bit of only 60, it's like, yeah, 90 changes working copy there, 61 there at the end of the year, and somehow it's quite a mess to support everything. Let's commit some scripts to get this started. So here is, yeah, we unfortunately need some dylib specifier here, but you know what, maybe we can wildcard that, because on most systems we have .so, but on macOS we have dylib. Let's see, we have source bash. I guess usually there should, oh, hello, where is, oh, did we not recently configure? No, we didn't configure, that is why. Also, yeah, full T2 config running there. Obviously still a lot of stuff to do, but it's starting to kind of freak. Start working pretty amazingly. So that was source bash lure bash. Okay, we have actually more than we have there also. Okay, for that maybe, wait a second, did we? Okay, so that is not as easy. We would have, okay, we could actually easily, probably because we don't want to use D or O obviously, but maybe like that we could make, oh no, this, why does this? Yeah, so like this, so at least two or more, that probably should work for SO. And let's maybe check this on the Ryzen. It's a little bit it's a low-tech solution, but honestly, for a lot of cases of, sure, there are corner cases if you have a shared NFS or distributed file system and you run configure on Linux and macOS, then this would not work and so on. But in my opinion, hard coding, so we could hard code on this plugin is SO unless you run a uname Darwin. But in my opinion, unless we really need so, I mean, most people, let's be honest, most people don't run one shared source on common internet file system, network file system, or other distributed file systems. So unless we get some issue report, I guess it's fine. Let's try that here. Basically, so that is Horizon, because of course it is. And crypt setter, cool. Did data update that? Because earlier today data updated that. So yeah, data updated this. This is funny. So probably maybe data got different data from. Because you might wonder, why does it happen that data updates first one version and then the other? This is because data loops over Repology, metadata.org or whatever that is, and doing it themselves. So probably from Repology, the first useful match it got was 235, and then checking it upstreams like 236. Maybe I should actually reverse that, but I don't mind the data tested. Also, yeah, both compiled because they don't have a not tested prefix. So it's like, yeah, so this is why we automate stuff. And so Lua, we wanted the config, so that is here, and that is bash something. Also, yes, directly bin, was it bin env, I think, user bin env. Where is this env thing? User bin env. So yes, this is another thing we can't hardcode bash then, but that is not the biggest thing either, hopefully. And actually, you know what, maybe we do this as a second step. And that was Lua bash, Lua bash. And maybe we simply don't print SO then here, not that this is misleading, and I guess we could also use that here. And so then one thing, macOS needed, the new version of macOS needed a full path here, otherwise they complain about security, can't load that for security. And that probably could be it. Let's see if that works in the Horizon. Looks like that worked. Do we have anything in the... no, so that probably should be fine. Building Lua bash, what else did we... Bash, is it even bash Lua bash? Let's see, misc Lua bash in source. Is it bash Lua? Yeah, it's bash Lua bash. Yeah. How do we call this? Quirked? Improved scripts config to wild how do we call this the best? Match dynamically. Overthinking commit messages only live here on this channel to dynamically use whatever platform, or what was it even? Also, wait a second, which too many dy lib dy English grammar. path to load and use absolute path to. Yeah. Something of that sort. Improved steps can dynamically use whatever platform is or DY-lib are built in. Use the path to load it on. Yeah, something of that sort, I guess. So let's see, that probably should work. This is of. Oh, so this was some of the wrong. Too many shells. So yeah, conflict, of course. Postpone, but also I think I could have theirs fully, but oh, wait a second, oh darn, I didn't, did I? If mine, yeah, I changed this to, so revert that, but we need user bin env dash, also probably for some BSD most likely. Looks like this still works. That works amazing. So first check is there, first check in. How was it with kernels? Did I... Actually, yeah, we have here svnet kernel Darwin. So this is just empty, or what do we have here? Okay, so far they are mostly empty, as you can see. But later we could add their stuff as needed. I guess this is already used somewhere in the config. Probably it's already iterating over all those directories. Yeah, we have here Darwin. So yeah, we definitely need that. And then, so we have quite some script changes. One is the set standard. So this is probably mostly only needed with macOS's default. But I wonder, default tar. Okay, so this is ours anyway, so macOS probably doesn't come with that standard. But so, I mean, we don't need to. So some stuff I will keep here and review more, also with a clean install some other day. Actually, we could try to revert that. I'm not sure if we need this build start anymore, potentially. Where was it even? Because we recently fixed another that is in build package. And then, pro tip, test this stuff immediately. So it could be that let's of course just retest Lua. And it could be that I added their random stuff like export there, which later were not needed. Yes, 7 seconds. So yeah, because that was another bug that we fixed independently some other day. So that is indeed. And this is also why we don't instantly commit everything, but instead let it ripe a little bit. And yeah, so the only thing why it's here, so this for example, this we can't commit like that. What is that here? Alias. Oh, this is actually some of this stuff is actually conflict resolution stuff. So that is in build package, probably. I probably could SED that, but basically this is reverting. We had some relatively complex SED expression for that some other live stream. But that is basically those spaces here, at least. This just happened when SVN asked me merge there, and said, yeah, mine fully for now. What do we have there? No, there's still one. What is that? LS. Okay, so I removed colors out of there because that wasn't supported. So this stuff I will not commit as it. This needs a little bit more thinking. And also this, so MD, wait a second, we have here MD5, some if type, MD, where is it even coming from? MD5 some. Is that unset? Because macOS has MD5 by default. I would guess that probably was missing there. And that's also why we test this slowly and so on, and not rush everything. How many more? So yeah, we have quite some changes. Oops, what have I done now? What is that here? Why do we arm? Oh, okay, that is a stupid change. So Apple apparently really has a ARM64. So yeah, this needs some guru meditation. So yeah, some crazy changes to Apple's non-standard stuff. Maybe we could commit this download, or should we maybe wait a little bit longer? Actually, here's some checksum of, what do we have here? Checksum, okay. Maybe we commit this together with the other checksum changes. It's basically testing whether we have this checksum program, because again, they are differently named without some. So on Linux core utils also we have all the SHA sums, and on macOS we just have that without some, just SHA whatever, because obviously, right. What package? Why do we have? Okay, we could actually some of those packages. What Python, macOS, Sandfire, macOS. Also here's some typo for some. I'm not even sure what's disabled anyway. No. What do we have here? User local. Yeah, obviously can't commit it like that. We need some like homebrew other alt system thing for that. More people tuning in, loving this channel. Happy to hear that. Oh, coffee is also empty. Need coffee, need water. Anyway, we could quickly SVN diff. So we have a new, not new, we had some kernel tag already. And why is this, should this not be, all right, because this is, wait, what? This is lowercase. So we have kernel Linux, and so how do we do best? before. So here we have that. That should probably work like that. So what this basically does is, the first package is basically we would need to metadata tag all the packages, like at least if we want to do it nicely, and obviously we want to metadata tag all the packages that are Linux only or Darwin only or Windows and stuff only, BSD only, starting here with some Linux packages. That's probably, should probably be fine. Grab desk here. And yeah, diatlibc, musl, uslibc, actually or glibc, who knows, maybe not though. But yeah, uring, so all of this stuff, all the Linux technology, open source Linux technology stuff that you usually read about and use are obviously Linux only. So cut delimiter space field 2. Oh, this is a little bit more than we wanted, so okay, we could also delimiter slash field like 3, and and oops, disappear there. Commit. I'm not loving this Apple keywords and special keyboard stuff and stuff. So commit that stuff. So just to have that upstream. So that shouldn't affect the Linux T2 Linux build in any way, obviously, but famous last words. But that's also why we do this here today. Get this stuff finally started, and also creating a template, right, for people wanting to help, want to use it on macOS or BSD and stuff. So this is how you do it and how we do it in the future. And if we, for example, if this also would support some FreeBSD stuff, then we could add metadata at there as well. So that would be started to mark the first packages. Let's maybe document this here, K plus Linux only. Let's maybe put this in quotes or something. And so yeah, that's how we're doing it. So to mark the first packages, K plus Linux only, it probably should be fine like that. And that also gives us some days. So first of all, having this finally upstream for you to play along at home. And Johnny asks, does T2SDE use musl? We support them all as per usual. T2 is a meta distribution, so also using specifically designed for embedded systems. So if you build some IoT device, you can choose yourself if you want to use glibc, musl, uslibc, diatlibc. So we support them. And we also have, or from now on, we will have, from the 21.12 release, we will have musl example builds, because as per the last live streams and years here on YouTube, we configured most stuff to just work. So yeah, you can choose. And so we also have already binaries to download from maybe even last year with Clang and stuff. So we have GCC, we have Clang, and now we also have macOS. Increasingly macOS, aka Darwin, support. So what else can we commit today? So yeah, some stuff here needs some improvements, needs to be done. Why did we not, oops, there were 2 more. Why did we not commit those? Did I grab that wrong? Oh, there's actually even more. How could I miss that? Why does this not grab K? What have I done there? Firmware of... I've done this wrong. Look at that. So much to imagine. I would have, automation, right? This, I nearly would have committed this. This is the wrong tech. This is architecture. Question master of consoles is the goal here to start supporting Darwin like Nix packages beyond Linux only package collection. Yeah, exactly. So actually we did this already a decade ago. We just do this more now. I said this before, I even used T2 personally to build, for example, Subversion when that still was cool before Git in 2006 or so. For macOS, I just never polished it enough, right? So before Subversion was bundled with macOS. And I also already built Windows binaries, so there was already some initial support, even for 15 years in T2, for WMinGW thing. And so we are just improving that. And making it work. So also, I wouldn't always, I'm surprised that nowadays everyone's like Nix or something. I would actually call this homebrew. I think so many people using, I have no idea, is this with Nix package stuff? But I thought most people use homebrew. And so the goal is, I mean, we have this metadata, and the goal is to reuse it. Obviously, if I need something, if I need open source stuff on macOS, I don't want to, I spent 20 years on T2, right? It is readable and nicely automated, and I would obviously rather use this, because otherwise I would use totally alien to me other foreign source package manager things, and doesn't make sense for me. I support already 25 plus architectures, cross-compiling all this stuff, 20 years of work, and I obviously want to use my own stuff and have this recurring win-win situation of finding bugs, or at least previously not supported configuration and imperfections, like this Lua doc dear. And yeah, also this other stuff can go away, right? Even if I would use Nix package or homebrew today, maybe it doesn't exist in 2 years anymore because people give up and so on, and with all the packages being abandoned and so on. And yeah, so this is, as so often, win-win situation here for me, and why I do that. And also, plus of course, there's the additional win of having YouTube content. But supporting other BSDs was always on our to-do, right? We documented that for 15 years. It's just like we were busy with Linux, but we always had like theoretically supporting BSD, Haiku, like building systems, and of course in the future my microkernel stuff. And yeah, leave in the comments below, did you take a look at T2? Did you try to use it? And this is also code review stuff, like even if it worked like one day. So yeah, this even worked accidentally because it excluded that, just that this is not a valid architecture name, right? So this is, it only worked accidentally. And of course, it would break the Linux build. So and yeah, so that is the recurring tip here. Review stuff. I think I have here at least one more typo Linux firmware. Somehow did I not copy and paste this right? Also, maybe I should eventually bring this upstream. The only problem with that is reverse engineered dump here, this firmware. I'm not entirely sure how the Linux, because that is stuff from myself. Not even entirely, actually it's on my server. Yeah. Adaptec did not see us yet. I'm not even sure what is the state there of reverse engineered dump firmware, the Linux kernel firmware tree. So much to getting this ever upstream. Although someone told me there's another firmware, maybe like 5 years ago, someone told me there is an alternative firmware that works better with multiple LANs or multiple targets with this Adaptec USB SCSI controller thing. So as we actually commit, let's see, Klinux does that. No such, also best here. That should be 4 more packages of Linux, mkrd Linux, and okay, that probably looks good. Marked Linux, mkrd firmware, and do I still have still have that. It's there. Linux kernel. So what else do we have going on there? Just mentioned because it's pretty deep into that ecosystem. Used homebrew before then. Understand your philosophy. Actually really like Nix packages because it can use the same configs on NixOS and MacBooks. Sounds like the same. Yeah, I looked into this Nix stuff. What I don't like is their domain-specific language. You could call this stuff here low-tech, but I find it more easier to work with than this specifically invented for that domain-specific use case Nix description language or whatever they call that. So yeah, obviously this is totally 20-year kind of old tech, but I like this old tech, simple and shell scripting stuff. But maybe you like it too, or maybe you don't. Maybe you want, if you want domain-specific package configuration languages, then obviously Nix is for you. What do we have there? Look at that. So UTF-8 proc also. That probably also, yeah, this probably should be generic. Actually, I wonder that this doesn't have an install target, but so this would be exactly this kind of stuff of Unix, like configuring or scripting Unixisms, a way of macOS specific library. UTF-8 proc and of not having .so but dylib or something. Actually, we could probably test build this of UTF-8 proc and see what happens. And then we also probably soon call it a day, basically documenting all the steps needed to do all the stuff. What have we done? Aborted for. Oh, so we didn't download it because we should have used emerge. What time do we? 18 something, 1841. Yeah, so that's soon that for today. So what did we install? Yeah, dylib. Creating archive and ln dylib2 and we didn't install this verbose, I guess. TF8 proc of does install, does it have a verbose thing? Actually, maybe not. No, whatever. Yeah, .a and dylib. That's again a low-tech fix for that. Or adapt. Version 4 Mac OS. How do we always pick the problem? Is that this is Darwin for Darwin? Or yeah, okay, let's Mac OS DY, or I always, it's so unintuitive. Yeah, dylib. I always want to put an N in there. Adapt UTF-8 proc. So installation for, I think that's fine. Yeah, we're getting there, one package at a time. Probably, so that one, so that is removed for good upstream. We don't need that anymore. Yeah, there's quite some required. What? Maybe. So yeah, apparently the spaces is non-breaking white space Unicode stuff. It's not only a T2 thing, it's also happening on macOS. It's just my sticky finger typing, apparently. Especially with Mac keyboards with different. Although the sticky thing there is, of course, my long sticky shift pressing, probably. So core utils should be ginstall, so we can also commit that, I hope. And we will find on the next T2 build, which will be soon. We will find if we break something, obviously. So that was core utils for fixed core utils to honor prefix for ginstall. I mean, I'm not even sure. We should actually check if we still need that. Maybe that is a 20-year-old thing. I have no idea, because it has been a while that I've seen that. So maybe to do check if still need core utils ginstall something. Static asks, do you believe T2 documentation needs a rewrite? It's a bit dated. Yeah, it could need some update, but the problem is we use some Apache FOP something, basically the same stuff that Subversion book used, and it's a little bit maybe better than late text. The problem is rewrite. I mean, the good thing is not that much changed, certainly some details. It's still useful, but it certainly needs more updates. It's the usual stuff. I'm just, I mean, it's not the most important stuff. It's still 95% matching to what it does today. And maybe we should touch it. We could touch it up a little bit if we get this Apache FOP whatever stuff to work again with Java and whatnot. Otherwise, probably nowadays I would prefer some more modern and dynamic web wiki version of that, I guess. Which is also why I didn't retouch it the last 10 years. Besides, for 10 years, not so much command option and behavior stuff changed, and so only the last 2 years on YouTube some details changed more. But yeah, leave me in the comments below what you think. Here's also, why is it no, this is append wrapper, why is it no implicit function declaration? Not even what have I done here with GCC wrapper, no implicit function declaration, not even sure why we added that now. So yeah, I do not commit everything, especially not today, with some stuff like default prefix that needs some global homebrew user local handling, I would say. And rewrite in Markdown, something like that. The only thing I need to check with images and stuff and diagrams. We have at least some images in there and warnings. I think we have some like warnings and stuff that generate some warning boxes and so on. But but it's not the highest priority. We sure get some new users. I've not yet. But it's also community contribution, right? If you want to contribute and stuff. For me, right now it's not that high of a priority. But of course, eventually we need to get there. So what we would need to do, here's also GNU lib patch, not even, how many GNU lib patches do we have here even, and what other stuff do we have? Probably eventual, this is a hack, and this is a, probably whatever, ARM64, what do we have? What? What have I done there? GNOME lib something. Oh, wait a second. is this, what is question, no, question mark means not, not sure what I've done there. Maybe white space or whatever, forgot something. So, what else do we have? Darwin, so... Yeah, some of the stuff is rather generic. I probably should also check what other homebrew package manager do here. What is here with this new file though? Ah, maybe this was renamed potentially. Ah, yeah, somehow probably between copying that from the DTK and renaming that in T2 proper. Although, yeah, there are some changes. So here we have some kernel specific stuff, and yeah, this took me some head scratching to find out how to quirk that. This also looks to be, wait a second, that is, what is it, config? So this is, okay, this user local. Yeah, so some stuff needs, again, we need some global homebrew something. Yeah, microkernel stuff soon. You see, we are getting there with releasing T2. It's just extremely a lot of work. And I just don't want all this work put into there like unfinished. So I just wanted to have this a little bit more polished before we move more on to other stuff. Oops. But soon. So what do we have here in? I think we stop here soon now. Also, what do we have? SED. So let's SED conf. Why do we have a whole? What do we have here? User. Here's also. Okay, why is that? Why is it plus? Why is it a plus? What did I miss here? This looks like edit, but this is strange. Probably I have no idea how I did that here. Maybe restoring some. Also, we have. Do we have standard C99 in there? We have. So somehow I must have restored in previous revision precon 5 working guideline, yes. Move. So yeah, this needs also some more polishing. Setlib, what was setlib though? Maybe we call it then a day. Oh, okay, we probably so much to that. Anything else? Maybe I should actually diff that. What do we have for subversion? Also prefix only. Yeah, so somehow wait a second, why is it? Oh, this is if prefix auto. Why even is, wait a second, this makes... Oh, maybe that is there because Apache changes that. Including the Apache conf there potentially. Maybe that is etc opt Apache by default. Could be a reason for that. Yeah, so some of the stuff, it's not entirely there yet. What do we have for LPR? Also no append one, no. Ah, okay, so this is disabling that, so W and no implicit. Plus some space cleanup there, apparently. I don't know, not the greatest fan of just committing that here now. What did I add? Add a space there, deleted one there. What have I, what was? By the way, do we need make install J1 there? So maybe we leave it. So there's plus there, one there, what the heck? Yeah, I mean this, yeah, it was somewhat right how I had this. This belongs more together. Yeah. Do you still want to make a JIT-based microkernel? Found the idea very intriguing. Well, maybe not the microkernel. So probably the microkernel will probably not be JIT, but so yeah, maybe I could actually do a more, the only problem is I don't have fancy diagrams. The problem is making on the more main video, some discussion video, like I had already like 3 or so, and without fancy diagrams and pretty presentation style, it's always a little bit dry, I guess. That's also the problem, right? Actually, nowadays, okay, nowadays you would have had an iPad. And ironically, this is what I brought this Microsoft Surface for. It's the only problems previous videos, my bloody Microsoft Surface Pro thing there from 7 years ago has stupid phantom touch and dead zone touch disease. Because I brought the Microsoft Surface exactly for that reason, to have a tablet and touch Linux device, x86 and stuff, just like the main freaking feature of the thing broke, right? So static says just the drivers. Yeah, I mean the drivers are not the most important thing. So the drivers would be naturally JIT-ted, but so the core of the microkernel would of course not have drivers. So my idea would be, you could of course, so the hardware abstraction layer in microkernel would be static code, like probably lightweight C++, theoretically Rust, but Rust is a little bit too hard to read and annoying to work with for me, so maybe C++, like embedded C++. Anyway, and so the microkernel probably would have, or probably needs support to load like static ELF precompiled executables, but most stuff I would want to have JITted, so probably some form of JITable bytecode would be the preferred first class, or yeah, we have also first class citizen, so that of course it needs some native code support, native code loading support, which would mostly be used by the JIT layer. And so you could have native drivers, but I probably would want most applications and also drivers written in some more modern language dialect that would ideally be JITted by default, so that it's not that important to JIT drivers because they usually don't have that much single instruction, multiple data, vector able code, but they would, as a consequence of having more portable JITted code, and also with that potentially higher performance vector code by default, especially like adapting to latest and greatest hardware features. But again, for the drivers, it would usually not be the most important, except rate stuff or crypto stuff. Yeah, but that would be the idea basically right now for the most part. And of course, the more important would be jitting multimedia or other framework and graphic code and sound DSP code and stuff. And so yeah, but that is basically a topic for another video. And now what do we have here? Architecture, some stuff of we have here Darwin something. Right, so that also needs proper adaptation. Obviously, another day. So yeah, we still have quite some. Let's maybe one last look at packages here, and then I go and call it a day. What do we have here? Linux sys macros of. Is it? This is. Okay. This is adapting GNU library. I hope this is GNU library correct. Not even sure though. That probably obviously did not build for macOS. What else do we have here? Is here anything else instantly committable? We could actually check if there is a new QEMU version. So best with as and QEMU fast emulation. Maybe they have release candidate 2 or release candidate 4. Let's do that as a last thing. 6.2.0, so we can commit that. And so yeah, actually, let's see if they fixed upstream the I/O vector stuff. I had to have there a hacky patch, which was hotfix UIO. So yeah, move that temporarily to disabled, and yeah, recompressing that M1 Max. Can in the meantime check if this were mostly our changes. Let's maybe config and like build for a test either. Okay, no, not something that could at least UTF-8 proc. Consider checksum. Yeah, I somehow mistyped that. Is it with ACH? Yeah, of course. It is actually, I should. Yeah. So let's check some obviously changed. Okay, that build. Fine. More stuff we will see another day. So QEMU. Yeah, that will be quite a test. By the way, let's change the, I think I had this 10 cores. Let's change this to 8 for the performance cores. The other two efficiency cores do not contribute that much, and let's leave some headroom for OBS. Let's see what happens. The last time that built horribly. Let's check. Also, yeah, I wonder, how upstream can add support for macOS, and then it doesn't build for macOS cases common. What the heck is that even? There's also some Meson whatever stuff is going on there. Yeah, they automatically remove quite some not matching stuff, but that is otherwise probably fine. Fingers crossed. We get some warnings. Did you mean, so yeah, that comes, okay, so this failed, not previously, so yeah, I OVEC, so I don't know if I do something wrong or if this is just, maybe I should check with homebrew. So this is apparently still not working as that for whatever reasons. Try that again. No coffee. So yeah. Where are we?
Direct in front of me, right in front of me.
Look who visited. We have a visitor. We have a visitor. You want to be live on YouTube? You once have been live on YouTube. Your first day in the office, remember? 6 or 7 months ago. That is Puppy's little Linux distribution. What you say? Yeah, you like this keyboard, huh? I know you like this keyboard. Do you know what you like more? You more like the Cherry MX keyboards that you like even more, huh? Don't you? Yes, I know. Keyboards. Keyboards. And Blink. Oh, what? Why do we not have... No, 0 drop frames. Why does it say YouTube morning? Not enough video bandwidth stuff. Should we go out? Did you sleep well? No? Boring? Boring? You wanna go? Wait. Okay. Then look for mommy. Yeah? Just open the door. Bye-bye. We need to end this soon. But yeah, this is building, still needs the same patch here. No surprise, to some degree. So, that was Junior. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to share and subscribe. Homebrew, T2 Homebrew coming. You know what? This is probably, obviously having a bandwidth warning because we overload the performance course as it. By the way, is it? I'm not even sure. Do we have a Meson option for the parallel maxing? Or is it maybe grab Meson of whatever. Deleting expired sessions. What? Yeah, need to check. Maybe I should actually make a to-do for that. Actually, yeah, so that build apparently. So maybe we should actually commit that. Potentially. It's not that bad, right? I mean, 3 minutes 30 for a 8 performance core ARM64 thing. And emulator QEMU of what do we have even here? Can we commit that or? Yeah, of course I'm not breaking. So yeah, I think this rests the case that this okay, we didn't build all, so that we obviously should not commit because it is basically, what is it even, Arch Linux user of does it even make sense? I need to check. So QEMU desk of what is with this Zazzle disabled? Oh, wait a second, did we commit that even? Wait a second. Why is this added as Zazzle 2 patch disabled? How did we manage that? Because we don't need this. So yeah, that would mean actually committing the first more useful package because we need this latest release candidate stuff for hypervisor framework on ARM. commit package emulator qemu. That would be desk and qemu hotfix uio. So that probably hotfix it for macOS /Davina. I don't know. This is so confusing. That's probably detailed enough, right? Hotfixed. So yeah, something of that sort. Anyway, they will soon be 6.2.0 release. And here you have that already. So I hope you learned something and enjoyed this. I need to go play and stuff with the kid. I hope you find this useful, learn something. Don't forget to share and subscribe, Patreon or GitHub sponsorship and